Ivan, I'm challenging you to clean this dirty car with a $50 budget, $50 Canadian. So that's $36 USD. Can you do it?
Yes. Hi, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Pan.
And this is DIY Detail. Today, Pan has brought me to a local store that we have. It's called Canadian Tire. Think of an O'Reilly's mixed with a Walmart. Pretty much, that's what it is.
Yep.
And we're gonna go through the shelves, see what I can find to wash the car, dry the car. Well, no, you're providing the drying towel.
I will, yes.
Yeah, okay. And seal the car with a nice little wax or sealant or something like that. And at the same time, dress the tires. Basically an outside wash. Now, Pan did this challenge previously with Eddie from the House of Rags.
Yep. And
you can see it on Pan's channel and on the House of Rags channel, or was it on EC Details?
On EC Details.
Okay, we'll put links down below. Very fun thing. They laughed the whole way, and I'm gonna make him laugh too. But I have an idea. I'm gonna go a little retro on him. We'll see what happens. But at the same time, we're gonna end up with a car that's clean for under $50.
50 Canadian. So
yeah.
That's 36 USD. That's
right.
A big challenge.
Off to the store we go.
So it's a pretty big aisle, as you guys can tell. This is one of the big ones. So selection is infinite. So again, I'll be curious to see what Ivan selects. By the way, don't worry guys, we'll include the links to all this stuff in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. I just want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the show. So Ivan, the store is yours. What do you want to check out and buy?
So I'm not sure he'll want to include the links, but anyways. No, let's take a look at what we have. So
he
we
hasn't told me his plan, by the way, yet.
So we have some brands that we recognize. We have OxyClean. Simon Eyes is one that you guys don't have in the States. That's actually the house brand here.
Yes.
Right? We have Mr. Cartoon, Scotchgard, Mothers, Armor All, Adams, Chemical Guys, Sonax.
Turtle Wax.
Yeah, so a very good, broad selection of detailing chemicals.
Yes.
And the prices in Canada are a little higher than in the US. So
yeah.
I'm gonna be going old school, back to when I started cleaning cars.
So we don't have access to none of Clean by Pan the organizer and no DIY details.
No, so
right?
Since we don't have any good stuff, we might as well go all the way down the barrel. So for those of you that are used to the AutoZone, O'Reilly's, they'll have like from here to the end.
Yep.
Whereas here we have a whole length.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of the aisle, we have accessories. Yes. We have microfiber towels, we have wash mitts, a plethora of wash mitts, all sorts of fun stuff.
Sponges, buckets.
Yep. So I do need some form of wash media. I remember that in your challenge with Eddie.
Yes.
You had to provide the wash media.
And the chemicals, and I provide the buckets, the pressure washer, foam cannon, whatever you need as far as tools.
So they just happen to be on sale this week. So $7.79, so we'll say $8. Yep. Now, I don't see the wash mitt I was looking for.
Okay.
Because I know they have a good old school wool wash mitt normally. But I'm not gonna buy a $15 wash mitt, so.
Yeah.
Here it is. You probably haven't never even used one of these. No. Yeah, okay, so we'll go with this.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How much is that?
It's $5.49.
Okay, that's good.
So 8 plus 6, we're up to $14 so
already.
far.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, looking at the chemicals, there's nothing here that I'll be able to reach that $50 level.
Okay.
But I still need to wash, and I still need to seal the car.
And tire shine.
So let's go to another part of the store. Like I said, this is a Walmart mixed with an O'Reilly's. Let's go to the Walmart part of it.
Okay.
Come with me.
So you're not getting any of these?
No, I said old school.
Not the kitchen section.
Pretty much.
Really?
Nettoyage. So up there we have a sign that says nettoyage and or cleaning.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Okay.
No controversy. Old school.
Okay. This is the cleaning products aisle.
Yeah. So what is the least expensive dish soap they've got?
Oh no, are you serious?
Yep.
Palmolive $3.99.
Oh, we can do better than that. Because normally they have one that's like $2. But anyways.
99.
Oh yeah, Palmolive. There we go. Well, in the automotive world, we like orange.
Well, at least he's going for, is there a fragrance in this? Essential clean.
Well, orange tangerine.
Okay,
scent.
so a little more citrusy.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So that's $3.99.
Yeah.
So you're way under budget at this point.
Well, remember I still have my $14 worth of
Oh yes, yes.
detailing products.
That's right.
So now we're close to $20.
Yes.
But when I started detailing or washing cars, dish soap is what we had.
Yeah.
We didn't have specialized soaps. There were some, but they were very hard to get, and
Yeah,
you
not
had
like today.
there was mail order and involved and all sorts of things. You'd send a check and so anyways, we used soap and it worked. The cars were clean.
That's right.
So, but we had the good wool wash mitts though.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta have the wash mitts.
Yep.
Now I just saw it over here. We're gonna have to turn around again.
Okay.
And you'll notice the size of this aisle is about the same length as the automotive aisle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. What?
Yes.
That's like they use in certain car shows. I remember some
Yeah.
guys at the Montreal car show, I would
Yeah.
say, like, this is super slick, but at the same time, it feels kind of weird. And they say, yeah, we just use Pledge
Yeah.
on the vehicles.
So used car special, Pledge, it fills. Yeah. And we'll have we'll keep with the citrus fragrance. So we're going from orange and tangerine to lemon. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we still need a tire shine.
Okay.
The tire shine is by the cash registers.
I have a feeling now I'm starting to understand your plan. Oh, yeah, okay.
Off we go.
If I had to be in Ivan's head right now, I have a feeling it's going to be like a shoe shine or something, a shoe polish, black.
Oh, you're not even close.
I'm not even close. Okay.
No. A staple of car shows for decades.
A tire shine?
Yes.
Come on.
No?
Coke?
Yeah. Oh, that's a Coke Zero though. Do they have regular Coke?
You need a real Coke?
They don't have any. We're gonna have to try Coke Zero. We'll see if it works.
Coca-Cola?
Yes.
A tire shine?
It's worked for decades.
I've never heard of that even.
No? Okay. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Coke has a pH lower than most tire cleaners or wheel acids, but we're not using this to clean a tire. We're gonna use the soap for that, but this is our tire dressing. Off we go. Now you can also use just sugar water, but I didn't want to go that far.
So we're well below.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va bien?
Ouais, ça va et vous?
Excellent.
31,78.
So 31.78 Canadian, that's $23.14 with today's exchange rate in USD. That's pretty good. This is crazy. I don't know. Oh, the comments are going to be absolutely amazing on this video. So guys, we're back in my garage. Now is the time to do the work.
Yeah.
So we're gonna prep the chemicals. There's not many here. I don't know
No.
what he has in mind. So Ivan, you wanted a foam cannon. We got the pressure washer. We got a bucket ready to go.
Right.
So what's your master plan?
So first of all, we're going old school, except for one thing.
Gloves. Yes.
Yeah. You know, even though it's a dish soap and technically you wash your dishes with bare hands, still,
Good practices.
yeah, gloves are necessary. We can get rid of the Canadian Tire bag here. And from there, the foam cannon. Now, I notice you put a lot of water in it.
Yeah, 900 mils as I normally would, and then you add soap, right?
Yeah, no.
No?
This is not going to foam like a good automotive soap.
Okay.
Trust me. Let me go dump out a bit of this.
So by the way, just as a reminder, we have the Palmolive dishwashing liquid. We have the Pledge, and we also have a Coke Zero. We're going to see if that works.
Yeah, we have some microfibers.
Yep.
And we'll get these out.
And the wash mitt. So a synthetic microfiber wash mitt.
So they're edgeless, which is nice. They're color coded. We have 4 colors. That's nice. And let's see if they state what it is. Pan and I are used to high quality microfibers from the House of Rags or from
Yes.
DIY Detail. 8713.
Oh, that's a blend I've never heard of before.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about as low as you can go. They're 230 GSM for those that are asking. So we will check that out.
Okay.
We have our wash mitt, which is old school to the max.
It says here, synthetic microfiber ideal for washing and dusting.
And dusting, yeah. And if you feel it on your skin, it's like sandpaper. Now, this, when it gets wet, though, won't be this rough. So feel how rough it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll let it
We'll see if it does any marring on the surface.
Yeah, we'll let it do its thing in the wash bucket, get nice and wet. So I put out a bit of the water because, I know
Like 500 mils of water left there.
Yeah.
And we're squirting quite a bit. This is either going to be a total disaster or it's actually going to do its thing. Of course, back in the day, even when I started, I remember my dad, when I got my first car, I was 16 years old, right? So he's like, here's a dishwashing liquid, a bucket, and an old sponge. That's how we wash cars. So immediately my mind went to like, that doesn't make any sense, right? My mom uses that in the kitchen to clean the dishes, but it did work, like it cleans.
Yeah. So it will clean. How it's going to foam, I'm not sure. And, foam cannons came into existence in the automotive world in the mid-90s. So when I started cleaning cars, they weren't even a thought.
Yeah. So we're using the Quiver foam cannon.
Yep. Thanks to our friend Josh.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
Now, we're going to be doing a foam rinse foam, which isn't something we used to do in the past, but hey, we have these techniques available to us now. We've done the research. It's the safest way of doing it.
Yes.
There's a lot of encrusted bugs on the front of this. Not sure they're all going to come off, but we will get the car cleaner than it is now.
I see some remainder of bird poo and
There's a few things on here.
Yeah.
So let me fire up the foam cannon.
Yep.
See if we get some soap out of this.
Oh, wow.
Not bad, actually.
Not bad at all. Smells like oranges.
Yep.
Smells pretty nice. So Ivan, the foam rinse, foam wash method, we've spoken about this many times on our separate channels, but the whole purpose is, again, to minimize the risks of any swirling or scratching during the contact. You want to remove as much of the grit for the initial pre-wash.
So what we're doing now, we're removing the grit. And unlike a good automotive soap, even though we have thick foam, it's really falling off the car quickly.
Yes.
It's not
clinging.
It's not clinging like we would expect it to, but nonetheless, it's doing something.
It seems to be flopping here and pulling a little bit of that dirt into the foam. So, okay.
Yeah, and our friend Rick would have a lot of fun with this one with
From Rad Garage.
Yeah, with the reverse foam technique here. But we actually got a fairly thick foam out of it.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I only used, 300 milliliters. So, yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Compared to our 30 milliliters normally.
Usually,
but yeah, so it's falling off the vehicle quickly.
Yes.
Something we're not used to seeing. We're not used to doing. Let's rinse it off.
And we'll see what kind of job it does for the initial pre-wash.
Yeah.
And then refoam and then contact wash.
Right. While it's sitting for the last couple seconds, let's get the wash mitt.
So do you want a measuring cup? Like how many ounces do you think you're going to put in that bucket?
No. Old school.
Old school. So we got about 3-4 gallons of water in there.
Yeah, I put about an ounce. We'll see if it... We're getting some sudsing there.
I'll activate it with the wand. Get that nice and foamy.
Yep.
Okay.
Not bad. Not
there
bad
we
at
go.
all.
All right, time to see what kind of a pre-wash we're getting here. even without a wheel and tire cleaner, it's actually doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. Now, Pan,
Yep.
we're going very old school.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a small measuring cup.
So what kind of a chemical concoction are we doing here?
So before we had dedicated tire cleaners,
Coca-Cola,
not just Coke.
Coke Zero.
Well, yeah, the Coke Zero I'm not sure about. You know, back in the day this didn't exist,
Yeah.
but it was a mixture of Coke, water, and soap.
What?
And you'll notice the Coke agitates the soap.
Yes.
And this is what we actually use as our tire cleaner.
Okay.
So it actually does help break down a bit of brake dust.
Okay.
So we're gonna apply this before I put the foam on
Okay.
to
Let it dwell.
Let it
Yeah.
dwell a little bit. So we'll just get everything stirred up here.
That looks like a brown, disgusting mess. Now that is supposed to clean the tires?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll use a high-tech applicator here.
Oh, even the wheel cleaner. So it's a wheel and tire cleaner.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any sticky, messy residue left over? That
No.
would be my
No, well,
worry.
Coke Zero actually it isn't a sticky residue like regular Coke. So this might
Oh, yeah.
actually be a good improvement
Yeah.
over the old technique.
So it's slightly acidic, normally Coke, right?
Yeah, slightly acidic. It's more acidic than most wheel acids.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a pH of 2 or 2.3.
That's
something.
pretty low on that pH scale.
Yeah. Detailers put too much weight into the pH scale. It's
Yeah.
not as important as people think it is.
Correct. Yeah, the formulation is more important.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing some foaming action. And what's the reason for putting the surfactant in there with the Coke itself?
Lubrication.
Okay.
And that's the way it was done back in the 70s, so we'll continue on with that.
Hey, I wasn't even born then, so that's pretty awesome to see what was going on back then. Microfiber towels didn't even exist. I think they started somewhere in the 80s, probably, 90s.
Yeah, so we would have used a,
Cotton terry cloth.
yeah, maybe even a good, for drying it off, the bath towel that you wouldn't use for a bath towel anymore because
yeah.
it was too scratchy on
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's what we would use.
Well, the good thing about the microfiber towels is that they actually do a lot of leaching of dirt, and that's their goal. All those little fingers, they pick up
Yeah.
stuff a lot, so they're actually good cleaning tools. If you care for them, they can last a long time. So look at that. You can do a little car wash on a budget if you're in a pinch or you're stuck somewhere with no access, because I know there's some viewers in some countries, they're like super jealous of the fact that we have access to all these chemicals at a local store. Some people just
Yep.
don't have that. They might live in villages or remote areas or...
Yeah, and there's just some countries where taking care of your car is not necessarily a priority.
No.
But some people, from watching us on
Yeah.
YouTube and social media, the world is shrinking on a continual basis.
Yes.
We're getting closer and closer to each other.
Yeah, and they want to take care of their vehicles, and well, that might be a solution for many people.
Now, if you drive a Chevy Bolt, can you explain to me why there's a lot more brake dust on the rear wheels than the front wheels? We're used to seeing it on the front wheels.
Absolutely.
On a internal combustion engine car.
Yes. So this car hasn't been washed in months.
And not a lot of brake dust on the front wheels, a fair bit on the back. So there we go.
So now we're ready to foam again?
Yep.
All right, quick foaming. Or lubrication.
Lubrication and dwell time.
Yeah.
So I'm
Gonna
going
let
to
the product react on the wheels and tires.
Yeah, and I'm gonna finish washing with that front bumper to let those bugs dwell the longest time possible. There we go. Once we're done, we'll clean out the foam cannon with some water, make sure that everything is good there. And now
Yes.
the wash mitt.
Yes. So I'm still curious because listen, guys, we haven't seen this yet, right? The pledge in action. This is like beyond old school. So that'll be a fun one. We're
Yep.
going to see the end results is what's going to determine if this was worthwhile or not, and if Ivan actually completed the challenge.
Right, and we have behind the camera Sylvie as normal, and she's actually going to be the judge. So we have good slickness. And we're picking some dirt up off the surface, so that's good.
So you're still doing the traditional top to down method. Back in the day, of course, you didn't have 2 bucket methods or whatever they're using today. Were you guys still doing the top to bottom, or is that something people realized over time that it's important to not cross-contaminate with the lower parts kind of thing, where the dirtiest is?
No, that's always been a staple.
Okay. So practices were always good.
Yeah, now, speaking of which, I'm not going to go all the way down. Normally I would go all the way down, but I just saw that this is not releasing the dirt off of it. Something that a good wash media does. So I'll leave those lowers for later.
Okay. So you're saying that the lubrication is decent?
Well, here, give it a try. You've got some gloves on.
Yep. Yeah. That's pretty good. Has to be gentle on the hands, right? So
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
And you can see all the
Yeah, that it's holding on to the dirt.
dirt that we pulled off. Let's give it a dunk.
So drop comments, guys, in the comment section if you've done things like this in the past or when you were younger. We're starting. The whole purpose of detailing videos, by the way, is we share the knowledge, the passion, the tutorials, all this stuff. So we learn these techniques, right? You're not born with all the knowledge in the world. So you try to learn things as you go. And of course, if you're watching this video, it means you're passionate about wanting to keep your car clean and protected and all that good stuff. So you start with the basics and then you move on to other techniques, other products, other methods.
Yeah, and detailing, to me, the most important part of detailing is enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Now, be told, I probably haven't used pledge on a car since 1981.
Yeah.
Or 82 at the latest.
Yeah.
So the formulation may have changed over all those years.
Okay. So other than the slickness, that's pretty much what Pledge was doing, no?
It actually fills.
Okay. So it'll give kind of a filling capability to mask a little bit of those light swirls and scratches kind of thing?
Yeah, it gives very much a waxy look.
Okay. So for those who don't know what Pledge is, it's a furniture polish, right?
Right. And, the name furniture polish is a very misleading name in the automotive world.
Okay.
Because when we think polish, we think
Correcting.
correcting, we think an abrasive.
Yes.
In the household cleaning world, when you say polish, like a shoe polish or like furniture polish,
Yes.
it's a wax.
So made to shine.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to leave the rocker panels till a little later.
So it does dry off a little quicker than we would with the automotive shampoos?
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this in direct sunlight.
No, for sure.
Your dishes you normally don't do in direct sunlight.
That's right.
Unless you're out camping, but even then.
Yeah, and this is in a controlled environment, and yeah, it's already pretty much dry on this side. So we'll see if it leaves any streaking.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it will.
So what do you think of, there's always a worry that dishwashing liquid, because a lot of people still use that to clean their cars. We try to educate people to use automotive grade products, but there's that classic thing of it can strip waxes. So what I've seen in testing is that freshly applied waxes and sealants, even a dishwashing liquid will not strip. Of course, if you continuously use it, it will eventually degrade it. But usually it's more on like the old days or the last days of your existing Carnauba wax kind of thing. But on ceramic protection, this should not put a dent in it, right?
Right, and it won't. So no dish soap has ever stripped a wax. Mm-hmm. We have the impression that it's stripping the wax because it has a sheeting action built in. Correct. One of the chemicals that it has is to prevent beading. You don't want beading on your nice crystalware.
Yes.
So they have an action in there. And if you remember back to the commercials before Dawn was cleaning ducks, their tagline was with sheeting action.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Correct.
So we're hiding
So it's probably altering
beading.
the surface with some kind of film or residue there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're doing the lower parts. That mitt must be disgusting.
Actually, not too bad.
Okay.
Now, when you went to a high-end car wash in the day, the hand car washes, they would always offer you, for an additional cost, to use a fresh, brand new wash mitt on your car.
Yes.
This is why.
Look at that.
So we, removed a couple bugs here.
Come in closer. Come in closer.
Yeah.
People have to see this. Look at. I would not do that to my
Yeah.
car.
Oh, there we have a wing.
Yeah.
And when we soak this in the wash bucket.
And that's despite having a grit guard in the bottom there.
Yeah. So let me rub it against the grit guard a couple times. Yeah. No better.
Yeah. It's still holding on to a little too much there.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get what you pay for.
Right. So this will be going in Pan's museum. That one time that Yvan came over. But yeah. So we're done with the bucket anyways.
Yes.
So we'll rinse this off and see what we're left with. Now, another old school thing is rinsing from the bottom up. And the reason we did that is we used very caustic chemicals, acids, very high caustics, because we didn't have clay bars back then. So the only way to decontaminate was to use those very caustic materials. That's why we rinsed from the bottom up. And using a dish soap, I had the reflex of rinsing from the bottom up, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna rinse from the top down.
Okay.
But that's why it was done, and that's why it's not necessary today
Okay.
with good automotive chemicals. Now, it definitely does not rinse away clean like we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
It's just, you need to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse.
Yes. Wait 1 second, Yvan. So hopefully they can see this on camera, but you're right. So when we talk about in videos, it rinses freely. When you hear us talking about a shampoo, rinses quickly, freely. That's because the shampoo, well, it rinses off and there's nothing left here. Yvan just rinsed this and it continuously foams, and whatever's left off, it refoams, right? So you got to be very thorough when you're using dishwashing liquid.
And this would actually be better rinsed off with a garden hose than with a pressure washer.
Yeah.
Because the agitation of the pressure washer isn't helping us in this case.
Reactivates,
Yeah.
correct.
I feel like I could rinse this for another 15 minutes and it would still have suds coming off of it.
So where are we, Yvan? What are we doing now?
We finished rinsing. We took a few minutes to squeegee the floor because, let's just say with the dish soap, it was a little slippery down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got these beautiful 230 GSM folded in the package, made them look nice and fluffy, but when you look at the other side, not so much.
Yeah.
But let's see if these can dry. Not bad.
I do have the DIY detail drying blanket if you want that, because you're allowed to have that.
Oh, well, yeah, in that case, yes, please.
You want it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because all this did was move the water around.
Now, this is a proper drying towel.
Oh, that's better. Okay. So the drying aspect will be relatively quick. Now, normally we use a drying aid. And back in the day, drying aids didn't exist. We didn't know what they were. I'm actually going to try the Pledge as a drying aid.
Okay.
Let's see if it works.
Okay. So a light mist.
Seems to be doing something.
Yeah.
Smells nice.
Yep.
Got that traditional lemon Pledge smell.
I cannot believe we're doing this. So we saw that there's still, this is where we see the power of automotive products. There's still a lot of bugs and bug guts despite our best efforts with the dishwashing liquid. So there's a limit to what it can do.
Now, some of them might have been etched there for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll need another towel.
Fresh one.
Oh, we have some slickness there.
We can see there's that overspray on the other half.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep a bit of smearing, smudging, but yeah, it's a little slicker, but we still that squeaking sound. So it's not like a drawing aid or quick detailer that we'd actually use in the automotive world, but it's doing something.
Now, before drying the car, let's just get a little more water and throw it on here and see if it actually beads.
Okay.
And you'll notice I'm biding my time a little bit, letting the water dry a little bit on the surface because it's very tenacious. It's on there. There was no beading on this vehicle at all. Sylvie and I drove it through the rain earlier today and there was nothing.
If there's any hydrophobics that Pledge gives. Okay. These are not super round, super tight, very oblong, irregular kind of water droplets, but there's definitely some hydrophobic properties.
And you can see where we got the overspray, there's a bit of hydrophobics, but much better on this side.
Correct.
So, Pledge for the win.
Okay, so there are some hydrophobic properties.
Not much, but they're there. Now let's see if it dries easier. Yeah?
I think so, yeah, because the evaporation is much better now.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, the towel drags on this side, whereas it just glided across the surface on that side.
So you didn't apply anything here?
No.
Oh, yeah, this is immediately grabby. This is a little better. We can still hear the squeaking, but much better than this. There's nothing.
Yeah.
This a little bit.
It's not a good sealant. We'll put it that way.
No, no. This is not something that will give you 3+ months of protection there.
No. 3+ days, maybe.
Yeah, until your next wash.
A week. But, you know, Pledge was used a lot as a waterless wash at car shows. That was its sort of a strong suit.
Yeah.
And also, for used car dealers, when someone was coming to look at the car, let's get out and put some Pledge on it.
Yes, removes finger marks, 2 smudges when people look into windows or touch the car.
Yeah. So, this is actually like pulling.
I had given some advice. I remember being, if you guys haven't seen it, the New York Auto Show. I did a video. So we were visiting New York, went to the auto show.
Yeah.
And there was a guy there using some chemicals. He recognized me. So he's like, oh, you're that guy, Pan, the organizer. So as I was talking to him, he was asking for some advice because they had hired him. And of course, they gave him Pledge, right, to do the vehicles as they always do or often do in car shows.
Yeah.
And he asked me, is there anything simple that I can have with me? I told him, yeah, a rinseless wash.
Yeah.
1 to 256 in a spray bottle. It'll do everything. It'll lightly clean. It'll give, it'll remove some of those fingerprints, those smudges, make the surface nice again, and add enough lubrication on the surface when you're not doing some marring. So a good quality towel, a rinseless wash, and a lot can be accomplished with that.
Yeah. Now, when you did the video with Eddie,
Yes,
one of the products you purchased was a glass cleaner.
correct.
To me, that was a waste of your budget just a little bit.
Okay.
Because when you wash properly on the outside, you don't need a glass cleaner.
Yes.
But Pledge actually makes a really good glass cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see that.
I'd like you to try this towel. You probably have never felt the surface so...
So not slick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super grabby. Oh, like there's force, there's resistance to it.
Yep.
That's why it's important to use something when you're drawing, at least a quick detailer or a drawing aid.
Yeah.
It makes the process better. Plus, it gives you the gloss, the slickness, those hydrophobics.
But definitely the safety in drying because we're literally...
There's no lubrication there.
No.
Yeah. Well, we know that we degreased the surface, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's so squeaky, like my fingers can't even slide on the surface now.
And just like traditional car wash soaps, the mirror will drip for days.
Oh, and for those wondering why, to speed things up, we're not using a car dryer, I want to mention that blown air from a car dryer or leaf blower only works well and is efficient if you already have some protection. You need the hydrophobic properties for that airspeed to flush the water due to the hydrophobics. If you don't have any protection like here and the water is just sheeting on there, believe it or not, it's actually better to use a microfiber drying towel with a drying aid because the water sticks so much that it'll take forever if you're using blown air to dry the vehicle. So that's a quick pro tip.
Yeah, forever. And the other part of that is you're actually evaporating the liquid off the surface. You're not blowing it off.
Yes.
Leaving behind minerals if your
Potentially,
water...
spotting.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because we didn't use spot-free water to rinse this.
Yep.
We went old school, so straight from the hose.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a small car. Imagine, and It's the real struggle of drying this. Imagine on a bigger vehicle. Not
So,
fun.
when I was growing up, the household car in my family was usually a full-size station wagon.
Okay.
Of the Oldsmobile or Mercury variety, it varied from one year to the other.
Yeah.
My father basically bought a new car every year because back then the warranties were 12 months and he never wanted to be in a car without a warranty.
Okay.
So every September we'd go car shopping for a couple days and then come back.
So you get the new model.
Yeah.
Were they the cars with the wood cladding type thing on the side there?
The 72 Mercury had the wood cladding, and I think the 75 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser had the...
Had that too.
Yeah. The other ones were just straight paint.
Well, so far your challenge is going pretty well, I'd say, because it's surprising. I'm looking at the wheels, even these guys, not bad at all. This is very grabby, but this is a clean surface, that's for sure. I'm not seeing any residual dirt there.
The drying is not what I remember as a kid. Maybe the old bath towel was a good thing back then.
Yeah. Yeah, because this removes a little bit of the fun from detailing and washing your car. So there are instances where, yeah, spending just a little more, getting the right tools to do the job, make you more efficient, make it more fun, pleasant.
Yeah,
So if it feels like a chore, there's something either you're doing wrong, or maybe it's a car detailing is not for you.
But we have some shine.
Yes, yeah.
It's a clean car. The wheels actually don't look bad.
Definitely.
So I'm not going to dry the wheels with this because I know they're not perfectly clean.
Yeah.
We'll use one of our new disposable towels there.
So now I understand why you said you're probably not going to link the products in the
No.
description under the video.
So a little bit of pledge. So it actually works well.
Nice evaporation rate.
Yeah.
This feels slick, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a light mist, which is something you're always sharing is use less. Less is more.
Yeah.
If the product you're using is good, you don't need a ton of it. And it actually, like from this angle, if I'm looking at the panel, it does just a slight pop of that gloss.
Actually, on the mirror here, it made a nice difference.
Yeah, on a black glossy surface. Apply it on the glass, boom.
So people that complain that their towels lint, this is a great example. This window is so contaminated that it's actually ripping the towel apart.
Yes. And we can feel it when you're passing your fingers over there. Yep. Because glass too, by the way, has texture, right? Hills and valleys, just like paintwork. And you can clay glass as well because there's embedded contamination that accumulates over time.
And this one definitely needs it. So the drying blanket didn't do this.
Yeah.
It left it nice and clean.
Correct.
Cheap towels, this is what happens.
Yeah. So are you having fun?
Actually, it's
Fun is a big word, eh?
Yeah.
In this case.
But after you've gone over it, you can feel the slickness. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Not grabby anymore. Compared to like here it's like instant.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to stay away from the windows because we saw what happened there. And we are trained professionals. Do not try this at home.
Or try at your own risk. We are not responsible for the results that you'll get.
Yeah. We have a bit of a shine.
It's in a much better state than it came in.
There's scratches here. And one of the superpowers of Pledge is on your furniture filling the scratches.
Are you talking about this
Yeah.
one?
So we've got a nice straight line scratch there.
There's some hazing too here or some swirl scratches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see
If there's anything.
if there's any magic to this Pledge stuff. It's actually dulled it down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
We still obviously see it.
Yeah.
But here is where I'm actually impressed. This was swirled up, and this is not bad. Yeah, seems to be some filling agents in there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Okay.
So Pledge
Hey,
might
free
have
paint
its place
correction.
after all.
Or masking. Well, you know glazes, right? A lot of people are confused at what glazes do. They have filling and masking agents, so you're not truly correcting, you're just filling
Yeah.
and temporarily masking the defects instead of correcting them. So that's probably what this is doing visually.
Yeah.
Because I can see the 50-50 here, like where you didn't apply it on the rear wing. And here, there is a slight improvement.
So even sprayed and allowed to dwell for a minute or two, it did the job.
So when we're done, your wife Sylvia is going to be the judge.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it's deserving of a trophy at a car show for the cleanest car at the show. Well, if there's one thing I learned other than there are possibilities of getting a clean car is if you guys want to have a laugh and have fun, either with your kids or family members or your friends or whoever it may be, like pull this little stunt out for a few bucks.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably enjoy even more the detailing products that you have in your arsenal. And then you can show, maybe do a 50-50, right? Half a vehicle done with like the Pledge, the Coke, and the Palmolive or the whatever dishwashing liquid you want. And then the other half with a proper car shampoo, a proper quick detailer or drying aid, a proper wheel and tire cleaner or an all-purpose cleaner.
Yeah.
And then show the differences. And I think they'll sell themselves the products. Speed, efficiency, performance.
And you've experienced something that you've never experienced before.
Exactly.
You get really bold here.
So for the tire shine,
Yep.
are you also going to be using that Pledge Magic?
Well, for the tire shine, the Coke is actually, the Coke and soap mix was for the person that wanted the natural rubber look,
Okay.
which is what we've got now as we see
Yes.
it drying.
Yep.
But I'll put a layer of Coke on there just to get it nice and
To
shiny.
beautify it.
Yeah.
So were people actually using Coke
Oh, yes.
as a tire dressing back in the day? Are you serious?
They still use it today.
Wow.
For car shows, it won't give a glazed donut look,
Okay.
but it'll give a nice,
It darkens the...
yeah, this car definitely needs decontamination. It's ripping this towel to shreds.
So Ivan, we're done drying the vehicle.
Yep.
What kind of steps? I think you said you wanted to dress the tires.
Yeah, so we have the tire dressing, and just to prove to you that this is actually not a...
Something else you're drinking. Okay. We're going to be using...
So-
I can't. Oh. All right.
Now, for the people that couldn't afford Coca-Cola back then, they would just use sugar water.
Okay.
Now, this is Coke Zero. There's no sugar in it.
Yeah.
So I'm not guaranteeing the results here.
Okay. So he's giving us a warning. You can see it fizzing.
Yeah.
So you can hydrate yourself and dress your tires. That's a multi-purpose use.
Well, I wouldn't say that Coke is hydrating you.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now, guys. What are we doing? By the way, I also want to take the time. We're in June of 2025. I want to congratulate Yvan and Sylvia, and of course the partner Nick. They've celebrated 3 years of DIY detail. So congrats to you guys. Testament that they're here to stay, doing some good stuff, educating people as well, and some great chemicals in the detailing industry.
Oh, thank you, Pan.
So we're not seeing that glazed donut look. It just looks like a dressed tire. Now, if it dries like that and it stays like that, it's actually decent looking.
So if it, the Coke that had sugar in it, that's what it would stay like. So we're seeing if artificial sweeteners are as good as regular sweeteners when it comes to dressing tires.
That's product testing and development, guys.
There you go.
So we're getting some nice B-roll shots of the tires there. Spending time testing and seeing, like, are we busting any myths for you guys? Did you guys expect this kind of stuff? Did you guys try it? Let us know in the comments. I'd be curious. Or what other myths or stuff that was used old school? Like, remember the newspaper on glass? So a lot of people were using that as the towel to have no linting and to get crystal clear glass. And then you had the classic use a toothpaste to polish your headlights.
Yeah.
Because there is a bit of abrasives in there. You'll use a lot of elbow grease, but Yeah, there's so many like DIY hacks.
Yeah, DEET on your headlights as well.
Yes.
Restoring your plastics with a blowtorch.
Yep.
That's
to
a
bring
great
those
way of
oils up.
destroying your plastics.
Absolutely. It'll work for that day, right?
Yeah.
But after that, because you're pulling all the oils and you're bringing them back to the surface, but you're also probably accelerating the degradation.
Yep.
So is it?
There we go.
Done?
We're done.
That is beautiful. So let's have the judge come in because she is a very good detailer, right? So Sylvie, what do you think? You tell us, like you've seen all the steps.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy. I was not expecting this, by the way.
Oh,
So how does it
Yeah.
feel? Not too bad?
not too bad. Look good.
It does, yeah?
Yeah. You have a lot of shine and
See here, yeah, we can tell the linting on the glass.
Yeah,
There's so much
that's-
contamination.
yeah.
That coke on the tires, if it stays like that, the look is actually half decent.
yeah, it's perfect.
So would you recommend that people do this at home, or should we stick with
No.
DIY detail, clean by pan
Yes.
products? Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But no, I have to say, like I was not expecting this. I thought it would be a total disaster, but no. Like if you're in a pinch, if you're somewhere you don't have access to detailing chemicals, products, tools, all that stuff, can you do something? Yes. Can you have more fun and performance with proper? Actually, let me ask you this. So if people are looking out there and they're seeing,
Yeah.
okay, they cleaned the car, they did a half decent job.
Yeah.
It cost them less than 30, how much do we say? Less than 50 Canadian dollars?
Yeah, it was 31 Canadian.
31 Canadian, so
Yeah.
like 20 something dollars US. What's the advantage you would say of having more, not necessarily all pro grade, because you can buy some consumer grade stuff as well.
Right.
But what are the advantages of having proper detailing chemicals when you're doing detailing work?
First of all, you'll use less product. So to get the foam that we're used to, we had a little more than we normally would.
A lot.
The mitt was no, don't even go there. So having a better quality sponge or mitt, that would help a lot. The other aspects of it is, yes, we have a result. How long lasting is that result?
Yeah.
How's it going to look a day from now
Yes.
or 3 days from now or a week from now? I'm predicting it's going to be attracting dirt.
Absolutely.
But that being said, can you have fun? Yes. Can you get the job done? Yes. Is it easy? Actually, no. In the sense that it was, the towel dragging, the inability to rinse off, or
the user experience is not the best.
yeah, the user experience isn't there.
Yep.
Which is something that we're used to. I've been using dedicated detailing chemicals for over 45 years.
Yeah.
When I started washing cars with my father, of course, we used soap, we used Pledge, we used all that stuff. Now, the Pledge for us was a top-up. We got paste wax every 3 months and Pledge at every wash.
Okay. So Ivan, we saw the results. They're okay, I guess.
Yep.
You guys be the judge, drop comments. However, so the bill was inexpensive. So we
Right.
spent just over 20 USD or 30 something Canadian dollars. Are we actually really saving money though?
No, so cost of purchase versus cost per use are two completely different things.
Okay.
And when we look at cost per use, we used a third of this bottle. Now,
Yeah.
this wasn't expensive. It was what, $4 or $5, something like that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, out of the clean soap or the DIY or the shampoo, sorry, not soap, but the clean soap or the Incredible Suds, you would have used an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half. Yeah, you use a lot less of this than you would of that. So in the end, it's costing you more to use this. Plus the water usage.
Yeah.
We had to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse.
Yeah.
Whereas these rinse away cleanly.
Absolutely.
So that's a big advantage of having those.
Yes.
All these little things add up to make it more expensive for you to use it, and you're going to have less fun doing it. Unless you're pulling a prank on someone like I did on.
Yeah, I was not expecting
Yeah.
this. But you're right, the user experience, there's something to be said. So it's not only you're getting value with the more car detailing oriented products, but you're saving money on the long run. You're getting a better user experience, definitely more performance.
Yeah.
You're getting what you paid for as well. So that's the whole point of us educating people, is using the right products and tools does make a difference at the end of the day for sure.
Right. The Pledge might last a week, whereas if you use the sealant, if you use ceramic gloss,
Yeah.
you're looking at months. So you wouldn't have to do this at every wash.
No.
So there are advantages to using dedicated chemicals. They are going to last longer. They're going to do a better job, and you're probably going to have more fun doing it.
Absolutely. And guys, if you like this kind of content, keep on watching. Subscribe to both channels. So DIY Detail, of course, Clean by Pan the Organizer, or the Pan the Organizer channel, and the House of Rags
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
our
we're
friends
both-
at House
we're
of
both
Rags,
on
yeah.
there. Yep, they have some great stuff, including microfiber towels. So thanks, Ivan, for all this. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You surprised me totally. And if you guys want to let us know what future videos you want us to do together, drop the comments and we'll make it happen. We always make some magic together, and keep the fun going. Keep educating yourselves on car detailing, and yeah, how do you want to finish the video? What do you say?
Well, there's another video to watch, but in the meantime, keep it tight, keep it clean, and
we'll
watch
see you-
this.
And watch that.